China's economic development over the past few decades is evident, and big cities like Beijing and Shanghai are as modern as any other metropolis in the world. It can be hard for our overseas friends, even for most Chinese people, to imagine that China is still also home to some primitive minority tribes like Biasha. Biasha was once extremely poor and backwards. I was completely stunned when I first came to Basha Miao Village in 1993. When I arrived, I met an old man on the roadside at the entrance of the village, and it was as if I had traveled back in time from Beijing. He was wearing traditional bright pants made out of simple cloth, walking barefoot and carrying a heavy load of firewood on his shoulder. What particularly stood out to me was the way his hair was pulled into a bun at the top of his head, locally called hugun, like those of ancient warriors. In awe, I also couldn't hold my tears, watching that old man in the cold winter walking barefoot on the frozen ground and trying his best to communicate in Miao language with outsiders like me. 30 years later, I'm returning to Basha Miao Village to witness the tremendous changes since the last time I came. Villagers now all have enough food to eat and the clothes to keep themselves warm. The construction of a highway into the village has brought tourists and visitors to Biasha, putting an end to years of isolation for its villagers. Over the years, locals and relevant government departments have done their best to preserve the traditional culture of Basha Miao Village, despite the inevitable threat of commercialization. Traditional culture has played a huge role in the process of poverty alleviation and revitalization of the countryside. The Biasha people have been hunting for a living for generations. Even if they do not need to hunt anymore, the government still allows them to carry guns, making them the only tribe in China to have this privilege. In their long history of holding guns, there has not have been a single accident of gun slinging. This points to the harmony of the village, the self-discipline of the people, and the power of the tribal autonomy. Nowadays, gun discharge is only performed as a ceremony to welcome friends and guests. I had an interesting talk with Mr. Jia Shengxiang, the new leader of the village's performance troupe.
他们是滚线的，我就觉得不太好听。
哦，你是自己编的，不会吧？
我不是，我是真的是新疆。
啊，新疆。
我们家是祖宗就是我们家。
哦。
祖先。
那现在滚的人多还是姓贾的人多？
滚的是他们是大姓。大姓。
他们欺负你们吗？
没有，
没有。
我们都是亲戚。
啊，是吗？您那枪里面有子弹吗？
有。
真子弹。但是人家说的，你们上千年从来没有误伤过一个人。
对。
他们持枪的民族没有误伤过一个人。
对，我们拿这个刀和这个枪
都没有，
就从来没有发生任何事情。
怎么
现
做到的？
就是现在从来没有发生任何事情嘛。现在为了这个各种民族的这个团结和各种的民族的特色，现在为了这个旅游发展呢，就是我们也就是一个独特的一个民族，就是现在就允许我们带枪带刀是这样。
你有没有登记？有登记的。
现在公安部门也都有登记。你看嘛，不是有登记编号吗？
有编号在哪里？
对，有编号。
有编号，但是我们看不见，都磨了。
连3连7就是连3连75就是我的这个编号。
这样的。 那就是说，就是有些小孩就很小就可以有枪，那小孩那些枪是玩具的吧？
啊，对，是那种是给他玩的。
给他就先一个文化的宣传承。
我们就拿枪就是算到某个15周岁，给他举行一个成人礼仪式，就可以配枪。他就算成年了，可以配枪给他。
您说有子弹，你像这我害怕。
没事，
没事。
这个就是说要没有上膛，
没有上膛。OK 啊，那你们要是如果是不拿枪，你们是觉得少了点什么东西？
也是一种习惯了，也没感觉。有些人呢，他呀经常就拿上他上坡怎么干嘛？他就是一种道具，他经常拿。
不管他有没有用，他拿着。
对。
现在成习惯了。最老早的时候拿枪是为了什么？为了打猎。
以前呢，古老和我们长辈的时候呢，就是拿枪的时候呢，就是就是防山、防盗、防寨的，就是那个。
防盗、防第一个防什么？
防山还防寨。
防什么？
防山，比如我上山去呀，
防山然后防寨子里面。
还有古代的时候，怎么经常万一有什么坏人，你遇到坏人拿着枪，你比较安全一点。
那有没有就是打猎？
对，
也打猎。
以前我们长辈那时候都有打猎的。
到这一代没有了。
对啊，这一代现在都要保护。
我想象这里面有很多野鸡。
你看我们这个山呢，老虎都有。
老虎现在有吗？
现在没有。
Usually, the regular tourists only come here for a half-day tour. I decided to stay overnight in order to hear more stories. Next time, I will share with you the story of life trees of Biasha people. 什么意思？